Alright, PlayStation State of Play 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's see what goes on here. How's this going to pan out? Probably not well. Oh, we're kicking it off with PlayStation Studios and Astro. So just an Astro Bot trailer. Maybe some of the new content. Challenge levels. Helldiver 2 bots, okay. Some VIP Helldivers 2 bots. Is that what we're gonna rescue? See, it's like right before the State of Play debuted, we had the PlayStation Store kind of leak this, in a way, because there was a State of Play section showing up. Alright, more of these. These were so fun, man. I'm actually surprised we're getting these so fast. I would have thought maybe a few months would go by before they would put some of these up there. But man, they're so fun. These were easily, like, probably the most fun portions of the game. New bots? Oh, yeah, there's the Eve bot. Yeah, so these were in the credits too. It's like, why did these not show up in the final game? So, seemed kind of clear these were probably not too far behind. Astro Bot. Free add-on, fall 20... Well, okay, that's like very soon.
Hi everyone.
Hey!
Needless to say, the studio head at Team Asobi. We couldn't be happier with the reception to Astro Bot and to see how much joy Astro is bringing to homes all around the world. On behalf of Team Asobi, thank you so much. Now, we still have a few surprises up our sleeves. Today's trailer was a sneak peek at the DLC we'll release later this year at no additional cost. We'll have more to share soon. But for now, let's enjoy the State of Play.
Oh, so there's more on the way. We only knew about that, like, the 10 speedrun levels. I'll take more Astro.
Listen to me, burnt one. If you're intending to walk the midnight walk, you better be sure to keep your spark safe and burning.
While I was in the black, I had a dream. There was a monster in the woods.
Handcrafted in clay.
On you go, like a moth into the burning light.
PSVR 2. Which I enjoy.
Thank you.
The sun away.
PS5 or PSVR 2.
Little soul,
Good hybrid game.
you charming little one.
Really cool art direction.
Where are you off to now?
And so it was that the burnt one and a small flame took a wander down the midnight walk.
Midnight Walk. It's a nice looking game. It's always games with a different art direction that sometimes look the most pretty or beautiful nowadays in this environment.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember how I felt. Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. She said the country was sick, but we would be okay. Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
Is Us. I'm intrigued. Did we know about that game? Is that a new debut? Oh, that's from Necon, Rogue Factor. Did we know about that? I'm intrigued.
My story is
Okay, Metro VR. Hopefully this is still shaping up pretty good.
Oh, hey, Serdar!
Have you seen Yana?
Something happened. She's in no state to be wandering out in the metro alone.
See, we can't undermine this. This is a pretty big PSVR 2 game.
Please, just let Yana be
I mean, VR games like this
What is that?
are kind of far and few between, so
I keep hearing other voices on the radio.
sort of has that scale and visual fidelity of a Half-Life Alyx,
Did you not
kind of.
hear any of that?
Yana, is that you?
You know, this is the kind of stuff people would like to see more of for VR.
Hearing things.
So it's looking quite good.
In my mind.
Sometimes we need to become the thing we fear to prevent something worse.
Hey, November 7th. Tight, tight.
So, how did it feel to learn the truth about the night sky tragedy? Long ago, you humans slaughtered each other until the whole world lay in ruins. And yet, you have been granted another chance in Auroria. It must be the will of your beloved mother goddess.
Kind of a stiff animation in the background there.
However, I still have no trust in your kind.
Online multiplayer requires PS Plus. Okay.
Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.
2025. You know, I'll tell you, as funny as it was to see that sort of janky animation twitch over, oh god. As awkward as that was, like, it's actually kind of a good indicator that, like, hey, what you're seeing is really what we've got right now. So a decent work in progress. That release year might actually be the release year. Now this, on the other hand, is in a bit of an awkward spot. I'm almost surprised this wasn't taken out, like, last minute. Because the composition of a state of play, like these presentations, they can move, even up to the very end. So, obviously, they're kind of in hot water right now. And I think did they not confirm that they were taking this out of TGS? Because it was supposed to appear at TGS for the PlayStation 5 version. We knew a PlayStation version was coming, but it's like, you know, obviously the pipeline, you would think, changes. It's out today. Never mind.
Thanks to Pocket Pair for
Hi, Sean Benson.
Palworld, an incredible open-world survival game that's launching today on the PlayStation 5 console. We have a few more games with breaking news today, starting with the return of two beloved RPGs from the original PlayStation.
Your dreams, magical thoughts, all things are
Lunar?
in your dreams, love is the
Well, I'll be damned.
carried on wings.
Lunar Remastered Collection brings together Lunar, the Silver Star Story Complete, and Lunar 2, Eternal Blue Complete, with updated visuals, widescreen
Between
mode,
this and
more.
Suikoden, you know how close I was to buying these games, like, the multiple times I see them at a retro game store, or an eBay listing or a game convention.
Lunar Remastered Collection comes to PS5 and PS4 in spring
Dude,
2025.
I'm sorry. I'll feast on all these
On Teenage Mutant Ninja
PS1
Turtles
ports.
Shredder's Revenge. First, the Radical Reptiles DLC, which adds Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa as playable characters.
Great game, great game.
And for no extra cost, a remixed in-game soundtrack featuring some amazing guest composers. Both of these updates arrive later today.
Great game. That too is on the State of Play section in the PS Store. Which also means The Last of Us Part 1 was on there as well. Now, why would that be on there?
Huh? I've taken on another form?
And yes, you heard right. Keanu Reeves is joining Sonic X Shadow Generations as part of the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. This update is inspired by scenes from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie and arrives December 12th. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack is included in the Digital Deluxe Edition, which lets you play the game 3 days ahead of its October 25th release date.
Keanu's all about those video games nowadays, huh? What's this?
Hello, State of Play. I'm Sakaguchi, producer of Fantasian Neo Dimension. 手作りのジオラマを使ったファンタジアンネオディメンジョン150も作りました。そしてランダムエンカウントを貯めていっぺんに戦ったり、スキルの起動を操作したりと単式バトルにも新要素を盛り込んでいます。音楽はファイナルファンタジーシリーズで共に歩んできた上松さんです。プレイステーション5にて2024年12月5日発売。どうか皆さんにプレイしていただけたらと願っています。
Yeah, Fantasian. Okay, I forgot about that. That's soon.
We're just over a month away from the release of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Let's check in with BioWare and Electronic Arts for an extended look at a climactic battle.
Didn't the previews for this turn out pretty good? Not much of a Dragon Age person, so I can't really provide much commentary on this.
Have they found Gillinane?
I have no history with the franchise, basically, although I know there's been a lot of conversation surrounding this entry. But I heard the previews recently turned out to be quite good.
Look, you made it. Good.
Wouldn't miss it. We have unfinished business with that dragon.
We've tracked it to a ruined tower nearby.
That lair is a death trap. We need to lure her out to have any chance. So we challenge her, draw the dragon out into the open, then attack. Just you and me now.
Everyone, get ready!
Orders! Ready ballistas! Wait for it.
Come on. Come on.
Hit the wings! Force her to land! Second detachment! Flank on the walls! Let's go!
I was about to say, this so far is not the kind of trailer I typically enjoy from video games, where it's a lot of cinematic build-up. Not even cinematic, I mean, that was looked like it was all in-game and everything, but you know, at a certain point, the sooner you get to gameplay, the better.
attack! Bring that first one down!
This is a lot of Dragon Age Origins. October 31st, coming up very soon.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls.
Oh?
The
Oh?
FBC's research department set up a facility.
Control?
The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Come on. Show stuff. It's gonna cut super fast. They're not gonna show a lot. Alan Wake 2. The Lake House. Okay, expansion. I was sincerely hoping that was actually like just a formal reveal of like Control 2. Ah. I still gotta play Alan Wake 2. Although I'm waiting for a disc. Which now it's coming. All you gotta do is be a little patient. And also PSVR 2 Hitman. Tight. Very good. I'm loving it. Full dual wield. This is what people want, right? With VR. I'll always say it again, time and time, over and over. PSVR 2 has a VR problem, not a PSVR 2 problem. We just need more experiences like this, more studios that can, thrive off VR, to be able to profitably make and ship games like this, which are more full scale, bigger production, a more AAA feel. This December.
Few know the truth. I stood with Kain and my...
We did see this before the State of Play. Would have been very hype if it did not show up beforehand. Although that was also like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, where there was like a logo at a, what event was that? PAX? It was some event. And there was a logo of this. And then we didn't see anything for those 2-3 weeks after, so some were wondering why did it show up there. Either way, I'm very happy for those that are into this franchise. I like it a lot too. I've only played the games like once, so I hardly remember them. By the time I say go and play this, they'll feel like new games to me.
The future has always been written.
Don't fight it, Raziel.
Sick. December 10th, which means the disc's
Legacy
probably
of Kain
way
Soul
after.
Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered arrives December 10th, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the first game's release.
You sure we can't just do the same?
Games from the original PlayStation era also inspired Fear the Spotlight from Blumhouse Games. It brings atmospheric polygonal scares to PS5 and PS4 on October 22nd.
Yeah, this looks so cool.
Just go home, Viv. I'm happy here. So
Is that soon too? It's real soon.
At last, we've returned to our ancestral land, Agaspa.
Build villages and nurture vast ecosystems in Towers of Agasba.
Gesundheit?
This colorful world includes unique creatures, a peculiar cast of characters, and also allows you to invite other players to visit your island. Towers of Agazba launches into early access this November.
I'm expecting a PS Plus game announcement.
Epic Games brings a split-screen mode to LEGO Fortnite this October.
Seems like a lot of state of plays, we always get some sort of day one announcement for like an extra title.
Playing on the same PS5 or PS4.
That's got to be coming up, right?
In other Fortnite news.
Oh.
The new Fortnite limited edition DualSense wireless controller arrives later this year, with pre-orders starting October 3rd.
We have not gotten a lot of like special DualSense controllers this generation. It hasn't felt like it. I haven't like gone back and checked on a launch line basis, but it doesn't feel like it.
And Koei Tecmo Games is ready to share the release date.
Dynasty Warriors Origins. See, I have very little experience with this franchise as well. I have a buddy who loves them, and he doesn't really keep up with video game news, so I told him about this, and now he's like super excited. So, happy for him.
To the chaos and find a way to survive. So choose your path wisely. Go forth and learn what it means to be a hero.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton destruction.
This is always a really cool thing about these games, is like having so many on-screen enemies. It's like not even a novelty thing, it's like the DNA of the game. Especially considering it's about war. And you have a lot of people... I'm going to say on-screen, but that doesn't make sense. In the context of real life, they're not on-screen, they're just there. But it's not a novelty when that's the whole point if it's about war. You've got a bunch of soldiers out there. Origins. I don't even know if this has a date. Are we going to get one? January. Well, if we didn't before, we do now.
I was still hoping that I imagined the whole thing. It's burned into my mind.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition, mine included.
This forest is amazing.
My fur isn't built for this kind of weather. That's causing the water currents to surge too.
This is its territory, and we're intruders.
You respect.
I like cats.
Why don't they just put the meat down?
I would probably love this. But I've said before, like, I just don't really have a lot of experience with Monster Hunter either. I know I'd probably love them. But I know that last one, like many other ones, they're like 100+ hour games. I gotta be really picky with the kind of games I'm playing nowadays that take 100+ hours.
The White Wraith.
Down there. Someone's in trouble.
It seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
What is that thing? An extinct species?
You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing?
Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes here. I still gotta show this Horizon Remastered game, you would think. Wilds. February 28th. Pre-order today. Hey, who loves that content? Who loves that pre-order bonus? Or a digital mini art book. They will not print on paper. And then a bunch of other bullshit. I don't care what the game is. I never care about that stuff.
モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの津本です。本作の発売日が2025年2月28日、世界同日発売に決定いたしました。本日より順次予約を開始しますので、ぜひご予約いただければと思います。プレイステーションストアでご予約いただいた方限定の特典として、プレイステーション5でご覧いただけるデジタルミニアートブックをご用意します。9月26日の23時からは TGS2024 カプコンオンラインプログラムを放送いたします。それでは引き続きモンスターハンターワイルズの情報にご注目ください。またお会いしましょう。
Excited for the fans. I'm sure people are very pumped about that. And there's a PlayStation Studios logo. And yep, Lego Horizon. What's November 14th, right? Whenever it's coming out. I still like Horizon. I like Lego games. I'll probably play this. Not sure when. Definitely not a high priority, but I don't hate this. It's tough being a Horizon fan nowadays. It's tough. You almost gotta be closeted. Everyone's so tired of it. Hey, Sackboy. Ratchet. Rivet. I do like that, we're coming up on the 30th anniversary and there's, Sony can do this. They can play with the IP and have all this crossover. I like it.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Zatani. We are so excited for everyone to get their hands on LEGO Horizon Adventures when it launches on November 14th. And Aloy has more good news on the
I bet she does. I bet she does. Let's see what it looks like. That's my question. Are they going to update it with like a lot of the, sort of Forbidden West character models?
Horizon Zero Dawn is being remastered for PS5 and PC.
Because the faces look really stiff. I mean, principally the entire game looks fine.
Includes more than 10 hours of re-recorded
Yup.
and countless graphic
There you go.
elements that bring the
That's what I
game to
thought.
the same visual fidelity
She's
as
got the hero lighting. Oh yeah. That's a pretty big improvement. Well, I get it. I get it. Everyone's mad at it. I get it. My only thing was like if you're gonna do this, update the Forbidden West models. Update it to those models.
Anyone who owns the original PS4 version of the game will be able to upgrade to the new PS5 version for $9.99.
Yeah, it qualifies for the $10 upgrade. That's what I thought.
Visit PlayStation blog for more
But
details and watch
calling it here, if you redeemed this for the Play at Home initiative during COVID, you're not going to spend $10. You're going to be locked out of that. Guaranteed.
World of Stellar Blade. A new photo mode lets players set up the perfect
Hey, photo mode.
Poses, expressions, and filters. And Stellar Blade's original soundtrack, featuring over 180 songs from the game, is available on select.
Yeah, that popped up a few hours ago, didn't it? Like overnight or something. And now there's like a lawsuit with another Stellar Blade company in like Arkansas or something. Oh, yeah, they said they were going to do some crossover stuff too, didn't they?
Sci-fi worlds collide in the Stellar Blade and Nier Automata collaboration, coming to Stellar Blade later this year.
Just DLC, we don't know what that's going to be.
Now let's talk about what's ahead for PlayStation Plus. First, your monthly games for October are WWE 2K24, Dead Space, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. These will be available to all PlayStation Plus members starting October 1st. Meanwhile, our library of PlayStation classics continues to grow, with 2 more fan favorites from the original PlayStation arriving later this year. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and Capcom's Death.
Oh, finally!
Naughty Dog's
Oh my
September
god!
26th is The Last of Us Day, and we're celebrating by adding the critically acclaimed PS5 hit The Last of Us Part 1 to the PlayStation Plus game.
That's why it showed up on PSN. I'm like, what are you going to say about this game? Alright, so it's coming out extra. That's kind of a big deal. But Dino Crisis, that showed up like almost 2 years ago now or something, right when the relaunch happened. And it's like, when are you guys going to put that up on premium? Like, that was on Sony's like servers, I believe, where it showed up as an advertisement. That's a pretty looking controller. Some new colors finally. Like pearlescent almost. Just as I was complaining that we're really not getting new DualSense colors or limited edition models. And some console covers as well, it looks like. Here's the thing. I want them to finally start offering translucent colors like they did for every goddamn PlayStation so far. Where is my deep ocean blue with the frosted plastic where I can see inside the controller? They do that every time. I want that. And we still don't have it just yet. These are funky though. Teal, pearl, and indigo. Hey!
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Cerny. We recently revealed the newest addition to the PlayStation 5 family, PS5 Pro, alongside several games showcasing the superior frame rates and improved graphics that the new console makes possible. With PS5 Pro, developers have access to 3 key improvements: an upgraded GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling that combine to bring developers closer to realizing their unique vision. We're excited for players to get their hands on PlayStation 5 Pro when it launches this November. But in the meantime, here's a look at some of the games that are being enhanced for the new console, including a few titles that we're revealing for the very first time today.
As in, like, brand new games, or PS5 Pro settings that you've not confirmed just yet? Rebirth, PS5 Pro Enhanced, Horizon. I mean, I've been saying this for like 2-something goddamn years. When they finally talk about this console, first party's going to be... They're all going to have enhancements. Third party is maybe the more interesting thing to look at here. So Snake Eater's in there. Veilguard, First Descendant. I mean, at a certain point, it's just going to be very big, widespread support. And then it's going to be surprising when games don't have it. At least in the AAA space, you don't expect to download an indie title and, you know, like, oh, where's my PS5 Pro support? GT7, Part 2. They said like 40 to 50 games. So there's a lot more they're not showing. Oh dear God, what could it be? Because they've shown everything so far. That was like the bare minimum. Finally. I was thinking too, I'm like, this is basically not the only thing, but it's one of the few things that's ready to be shown. They had to show this. They had to. We'll talk about why in a second.
To disappear.
1603.
But you are hunting. And now, every Ronin here is after you. Still think you're the hunter?
What's it called? That's my question. Okay, okay. We're seeing a lot, we're seeing a lot. This game's about to be so goddamn beautiful. Those Tsushima vistas were just something else. And now you gave me my chair back. Ah, okay. So they did it. I'm like, is it going to be Tsushima 2 or just like it's going to be all location based? 2025. This is exactly what I've been getting at. You know, we're almost at 2025, so that's conceivably very soon. This is what I've been hearing about a lot of the, you know, in-house studios. Instead of having late life cycle PlayStation 4 where, you know, we hear about a game and then it's MIA for, let's say, 6 months to a year. Then it shows up again at your standard TGS, Paris Games Week, Gamescom, maybe a PAX or something, right? I mean, that's the problem that I bring up every single time, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but when they don't talk nearly as much in a very predictable fashion, there's just a sort of optics thing with how it looks. And the thing is that even with just one game, Ghost here in this case, it's still like... I think some would maybe argue it's still like not enough because there's so many other first-party teams where we don't know what they're doing or they haven't made a formal announcement just yet. But anyway, to circle back to the original point, you know, that's the first time where we finally got a formal reveal of Sucker Punch's next game. And hey, by the way, it's going to come out next year. So it's like the teams don't really want to say something or make some kind of announcement unless they know that they're fairly close to actually shipping a game. So it's great to see that we now finally have that out in the open, and that maybe gives us a little bit of confidence knowing that that game is going to ship on time. I mean, that's a much shorter window than what we're used to during, again, late lifecycle PlayStation 4, where you can round up all those first-party games across Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, and Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and they would, you know, put it out there, and then the games would be missing for quite a while. At least in the case of Insomniac, we have... Wolverine, which they did make a formal announcement of, and that was basically, we learned this from the breach, but basically that's all they had with that, which is similar to like Marvel's Blade as well. So it seems like that's more the deal there. Basically, you know, announce it, get it out there. Maybe it's also just a matter of fielding talent, and they're looking for you know, job opportunities and just get the word out there, and whatever the case is. There's a few reasons why that stuff sometimes does happen, or it goes against the grain of what we're saying here. But it is great to have that announcement. I was going into this thinking that if they weren't going to announce one new PlayStation Studio game from one of their in-house studios, then it was going to look pretty bleak. I mean, going into this, there's been a lot of, understandably, low sentiment, low excitement with PlayStation as of late, because it's been this like vicious roller coaster of, you know, Concord, the Helldivers 2 fiasco, the PSN requirement thing, PS5 Pro pricing, and then Astro Bot comes out and that did well. You know, Rebirth obviously did fine, but there's some contention surrounding, you know, how the game ended or whatever the case is, right? It's been very turbulent, and because the company doesn't talk as often as they used to, it's just there's a sort of optics thing. The internet has a short-term memory more often than not, so it's easy to forget that they've actually shipped a number of games this year, and they do certainly fill out that portfolio with, you know, third-party agreements, that being your Stellar Blade or your Rise of the Ronin, or some smaller deals. But either way, like that was the minimum. They had to get one in-house studio announcing their game to have this thing not be a complete train wreck. Because this is the argument I was making on Let's Talk PlayStation. You can't just like keep riding this wave of like not saying anything. Obviously, we're in this environment where games take a very long time to make nowadays, and that's a problem the company's trying to reconcile with. We've seen how they've dealt with this, which is, you know, leaning more on XDev, publishing agreements, some of these AA style games that we would have saw from Japan Studio, that being your Canterbury Bridge of Spirits and Shia and Bugsnax and this, that, and the fourth, right? They try and fill out the portfolio in a different manner, so they are aware of it, they acknowledge it. We saw Freedom Wars Remastered, which makes a lot of sense, right? To revisit some old IP, go back in the chest there and try and find some things that you can just hand off to a different studio and a different publishing partner and have that also fill out the portfolio as well. So, I mean, it's not like we're not going to see more of that. We will, because it is still going to be a pretty big wait in between the big first-party games. But it's nice to have just this, and now we also know Death Stranding 2 for next year as well. And then hopefully going into the first half of 2025, we can maybe have possibly another State of Play or a showcase. Who even cares how they name these things anymore? There's an expectation with a showcase being a bigger show, but considering the 2023 showcase was highly disappointing compared to recent State of Plays, or arguably this State of Play, this had a lot of great third-party announcements in here as well. I mean, pretty much everything in here up until the next Ghost game was, I would say, actually quite good. It's just like, oh, if you're a PlayStation fan, where's the first-party stuff? But I digress. Yeah, I think that was... I would say serviceable, right? Like that's the sort of the middle ground I'm in, and I always say with these things, like, I enjoy them because I just like watching video games. So regardless of what does show up, I like games. So I never join this sort of hive mind, this immediate echo chamber of X, Y, and Z sucks, because of course it does, and that's what pops up all the time. But this seemed, I would imagine, serviceable in the here and now. So hopefully going into the first half of 2025, we could see some of the other first-party teams that might be a little bit closer to saying something. There are a handful that probably are getting a bit closer to putting their game out there. So, but Sucker Punch seemed like they were the closest ones that were finally ready to make that debut. I'm glad that we finally got it, because Tsushima was incredible on PlayStation 4. That game was fantastic. I think Sucker Punch is cooking up something good for us, hopefully. But that was my like hot off the presses, it just ended kind of thing, not even opening social media or anything and seeing what people are saying or complaining about or also loving about this thing. That is my gut thoughts on the State of Play. And of course, we will cover up any other extra news or things that we've missed or whatever the case is for Let's Talk PlayStation. And also we'll be doing Click R3 as well, a special episode covering this in greater detail. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.